Okay, welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler. We're going to continue our tutorial run playing as Castile. And last time we fought a war with Portugal and with England, and we won. And so now we are going to fight a war with Cebu and Fulu and Mossy. And if you recall, last time we colonized very briefly this province here just to get this claim on Cebu, so we have it. And so at this point, that's kind of the goal. So last time I told my army to go there. This time I'm going to tell my army to cancel that and to tell them to go here. Now let's check in on our colonies. If you look over here, you can see our colonies are doing pretty well. But our colonist is actually not active. I forgot to send him back after our little trick. So we're going to send the colonist back there, and in 70 some odd days, he'll arrive. Now, one thing about this is that when you're attacking a nation down here, they are going to be technologically inferior to you. I have military tech 6. They have military tech 3. Their armies are going to be paper. So actually, I probably don't need any more than these 12 troops to take them. But numbers still do matter and can overwhelm, so I'm probably going to bring in the rest of my armies, or maybe even all of my mercs, to handle it. But it is worth noting that you could probably fight this war without any of that. But again, you want easy stuff, especially if you're new. Here we have one of the events where it forces you to decide between estates. In this case, we want to avoid having anyone fall below 30 loyalty if possible. And it's not quite possible, but nobility is very close, so that's the one we're going to choose. We're going to get a base production in Gibraltar. Nobility will be down below 30 for a month or two, and then they'll go away. If you are below 30, which we got up to 30 again, there are penalties. Now, because we're over 30, there are benefits. I probably can just mention here, there are things that you can do, and some of them do not have affect Crown Land. I would just go ahead and do those. If they can increase the clergy loyalty, so this number is green, and this number is not red, just do them. We're going to grant that privilege, and we're going to grant this privilege. Actually, native assimilation, that helps with colonizing. That's really good to have. You want to do that anyway. Now, this one I don't want to do because it does have tolerance of heretics, tolerance of heathens. I'm not really interested in that at the moment. Let's switch over to the nobility. What do we have? This would have stability cost modifier, but I think it's okay. To have at least one of those would be okay. Right of council? Sure. Now what this does is it does affect your maximum absolutism, and so at some point you will probably want to revoke them around 1610 to 1650. You want to revoke some of them that you don't necessarily want the benefits of, just to get that maximum absolutism back, but not entirely positive for that. Let's see what we have here. There should maybe be another settler chance, yeah. Global tariffs go down, but that's fine. We'll do that one. Trade efficiency, you want to keep trade efficiency. We won't do that. Free enterprise, sure. Now this one, the clergy loyalty equilibrium -10, but it's currently at 52.70. We want that to be over 50 if possible. So this, as much as it would be nice to have, +2 on heretics and heathens, I want to keep that clergy loyalty equilibrium up if possible. And we want to keep taxes up. We don't want that negative modifier. So that's all. And so now they're going to head up to 59, 52, and 54. So in the future, if we get any of those events, we should have plenty of loyalty to play with. And also, we can start to decrease siege land as they get above 50 each time. One thing you could do there would be to summon the Dai to get 5 immediately, but I'm not going to worry about that. And we're going to bring these troops on here. We are losing money at an alarming rate. We could stop reading out corruption, just gain some corruption for the period of time that we are coring all of those provinces. I don't think that's really a need. Now, how much... It's sometimes difficult to tell exactly how much supply limit a colony has, because it's kind of hidden. But it does at least have the 24, so we can bring these troops on down. So we should. Also, since we're worried about money when these troops get down here, because we cannot break ships away from a fleet that is transporting troops, we're going to take those 11 trade ships and put them back on Sevilla, which we have a lot more of the stuff in Sevilla. You'll notice we have 78% in Sevilla now, which is really, really nice. The only center of trade we don't have in Sevilla is Tangiers down here. So now I'm going to take these, I'm going to take those light ships, and I'm going to have them protect trade in Sevilla. And I'm going to actually consider... I have 11% in Ivory Coast, I have 10% in Safi, and Ivory Coast is already worth more than Safi. 5.1 or 0.51 is being brought forward, and here with no power really being affected at all, it's 0.47. So I'm going to actually, I can't send the merchant because it must be in trade range. So actually, I have to fight the war first. But once I fight the war, I'm going to send my merchant to the Ivory Coast instead of Safi. It's much better for me. Now, you can notice that we're already way more powerful than them, even without technology. But like I said, with the technology, this war is going to be a pushover. Also, I have 5 years. I already have 400 points, so I'm going to go ahead and activate war taxes. And they're not getting up here. So I'm going to actually mothball my forts anyway. Except again, this has no unrest, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm still going to bring that one up. And I am going to bring this one up just to block the strait. So if they do happen to get military access from Morocco, they do happen to walk up here, they're going to stop here and have to siege this fort. And that'll give me time to respond. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. So I'm going to tell these two to attach to the transports. I'm going to find the transport fleet, and I'm going to come over here. And we're going to get off the fleet and land on Gabu. And normally, because they can walk into this territory, I should be able to walk into this territory. But I can't. If I were at war with the nation that owns this territory, I could walk in. But I'm not. It's owned by Mali, by a nation called Mali, M-A-L-I, and I can't walk in there. I have to have my conquistador. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer to the conquistador. You can change your generals if the army is in a province that you control. Either you've occupied it in a war or it's, your own thing. Now I could ask for military access from Jolof. They're willing to give it. That would cost me another diplomatic relation, so therefore another diplomatic power, but it would let me walk into Fulu. Otherwise, my conquistador will actually let me walk into this land here. So I think that that's what I'm going to do first. just to see, because I've never actually figured out, will a conquistador let me walk into land that's neutral? Because Mali is not in this war. So yes, my conquistador can walk on in there. And once he has cleared it, once he said, oh, this is what's over here, then my mercenaries will be able to walk in there. So right now I have 3 ducats in my treasury, and I am losing 1.75 per month. So at this point, I have choices I can make. I could fire an advisor to save some money. I could reduce my colonial maintenance. However, notice that if you go all the way down, you start losing settlers. If you stay about even, the settler growth per year is 0, and of course it can go up to 45. I'd rather keep that up. We're going to reduce corruption and allow corruption to grow however much you need to stay solvent. And they responded by saying, you know what, we're not going to actually try and walk through Mali. So I know that the other nation over here is Masi, and Mali might be all the way over there, but it doesn't look quite like it. So for now, we will just ask for military access from... Well, no, we'll ask for military access from Mali. That's fine. And so now I can march my army on through. Let's figure out who has the best siege. The mercenary guy has the best siege, so we will leave him on the fort there. And I'm going to have my conquistador keep traveling through Mali. And then I'm going to tell this guy to head up over here. If you're at war with a nation, you can walk into Terra Incognita as, you know, as long as you're at war with that particular nation. So because I wasn't at war with Mali, I couldn't walk in there. Because I am at war with Fulu, which is this green nation, or orange nation here, I can walk through them. And so now we are no longer there, and we can root out corruption. We can get rid of the amount of corruption that we currently have, which actually wasn't that much. Okay. I've won the siege of Gabu. We're going to go on up there to Fulu. And one thing that I can do is that I can demand money from these places. I can't take land because I'm not connected to it. And honestly, if you are new, you don't really need any land in the Timbuktu trade node. You only need the land in the Ivory Coast trade node. That's the one you really care about. As Castile, Timbuktu is just bad land. And this land is notorious for having rebellions in Africa. So if you can avoid taking a ton of that land, you want to. Now we're going to talk to Janae. I want military access. And I will agree to... No, I won't. I was going to say I'll agree to attack your rebels, but I can take this province right over here instead. That's the way I'm going to go, because I would rather not fight your rebels if I can avoid it. New land is claimed. This is in Asturias, which is in the northern part. Taxes, production, or manpower. Taxes will be an immediate benefit. Production will be a late game benefit. Manpower is kind of, you know, all the time. So the question is, what are you most hurting for? Let's see, is this a center of trade? It is not. I'm going to do manpower. I would say manpower or taxes here. But that, you know, it's kind of what you want in that moment. That is something you could, you know, decide for short-term, long-term, whatever. Now, they've decided they're going to come attack me. Can I get out in time? I don't think I can. Alright, I fought your rebels for you. Congratulations. Now, Fulu's army continues to retreat back. But now we are in Mossi. So, now that I am all the way over here, I'm going to cancel the access through Janae and cancel the access through Molly. Because I know that when I finally do peace out Mossy over here, that I'll be black flagged, and I can walk right back through without having to worry about any of that stuff. And I don't want to fight who I don't, have to fight. But since I don't have any diplomats, I might as well, and it's mercs. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get on their capital. And hello. It looks like Mali has decided that they're going to attack Fulu. And the Mamluks have announced me as a rival. That's probably good for me. I can't do that, so I can't get them out yet. So we're going to detach siege. And I'm going to take the rest of that, and I'm going to split that into a couple of groups and just start sieging them down. And so basically all I can get from you is money and war reps. I could transfer trade power, but I remember that they don't have anything in the Ivory Coast, so I don't really care about it. And I also don't care about any of this. I could get prestige from them, but just saying, hey, end your rivalry. And it's worth it. Get prestige. That's good. It's a fast way to get prestige is to just farm it by having you cancel rivals. And like I said, this army is now black flagged, so I don't need the military access. We'll just walk it back home. Portuguese separatists are close to firing. What are their size going to be? 14. Let's go ahead and use my navy to bring all of our troops back in. We'll gather together. They're going to fire probably on Lisboa because it's going to be the highest development province. Okay, had a slight distraction there, but I am back and we will continue on. And we're just trying to take some of the land from Mossy over here and get to the point where they would be willing to give me their money and war reps so that we have, our own amounts of money. Portuguese separatists have now fired. Oh, they've fired in Porto. I guess that is the highest development province. So that's interesting. We are 4 years away. I think I can go ahead and take this one. Probably won't take the next one. Okay, and so we have another... we got another missionary and we improved missionary strength. But we are having money problems. We're not having money problems. So we will start that second one. Again, this is a colony, and it likely won't need to be converted once it's done. But it can't be converted while it's still being colonized. So they have taken that. That'll be extra stuff. But there's not much I can do about that. So again, we have this event with Granada. And honestly, I'm going to get the 10 unrest because right now it doesn't matter. And I got a Gallo infantry out of it. Okay, I accept. I didn't read that in the tooltip. I'm going to combine these together, and I'm going to grab my general. It'll be okay. And we will come on up here. There's two places we can come in from. This is the one that doesn't have a river, but they're leaving, so we'll just go straight onto it. One thing about a rebel army is that they will try and occupy, if they're separatists, they'll try and occupy everything that they would take. But if you come in and unoccupy something, sometimes they will try and attack into you, which will make them, in this case, cross a river, and it'll be very, very good for us. Alright, so we'll give 25 administrative power, make Denmark like us better, as opposed to, that one, which is a pretty bad event. They don't like us. This is worth 25 admin power, usually, to me. Also, Aragon's going to come in here and probably just attack the rebels, and I will let them if they wish to do that. Doesn't appear that they're going to do that. Now we have won the siege here, so Mossy will agree to anything that we want, and which means that we can probably... Oh, they won't. Interesting. Oh, they have some more land down here. Well, they'll certainly agree to the money and the war reps, and that's fine. The purpose of the war was just to get this one province, and so that is what we're going to do. We're going to take this province. No one really cares. And we can make them lose their cores against Mali, but there's no... Well, it is prestige. It's very little amounts of prestige, but any prestige is some prestige. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll increase autonomy so that we have, less unrest, and we'll core it. And then also we're going to make it a trade company. So right now it is fetishist, and that impacts our religious unity. And I could try to change that. In 32 months I could make it Catholic if I wanted. But the other thing that I can do with it is, I don't actually know if I have the trade companies. That might be a DLC. That's a DLC mechanic. So if you have the right DLC, you can make it a trade company. But apparently that's not something that Paradox thought was necessary for everyone. So instead, we will eventually try and convert the province, I guess. That is a level 1 center of trade in the area. And so, if I flip back over to the trade, I now should, as soon as I get that core done, I will be able to send a merchant here and be able to effectively do that. This is the woods, this is the grasslands, neither of which is appetizing to me. To fight. If I can get them into the fort over here, then that would be great. That would be wonderful. If we can get them to head on over to here. We can get a level 2 diplomatic advisor that's 50% cheaper for 50 admin power. Or we lose claim strength of the air, and all provinces in Leon have -3 unrest for 10 years. This is probably worth the 50 admin power right now, and it's probably worth taking the advisor. A level 2. Hang on. A level 2 advisor is 50% cheaper to employ. Wasn't that one of the things? Unless I have 2 of them. I have 2 of them. I can choose. Well, I want trade efficiency. More than anything. And at this point, we will go ahead and do a national tax advisor. We are still making money after that, which is good. Aragon's opinion to me increases. Well, that's nice. And they are now on the fort. And again, this fort will unoccupy that, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and take the fight now that we would be defending in the grasslands. Nice and easy fight, and we'll just move back over here. And so now I'm going to take my 4 we are going to just get 4 infantry. We're going to put our conquistador on them, and I'm going to move them over to Cape Verde and start preparing for the future conquest that we have, because we are close to this being done. When this is done as a colony, our colonial range will change, but also when this is done as a core, our colonial range will change, improve to that core so 209 distance, which means we start to have the ability to move around. So now we can go ahead and have these armies effectively just move back, and I will have them do that. You can see that this one that has not had the colonist in it is not anywhere close to as done as the one who's had the colonist in it. So having that colonist there does help. I'm going to go ahead and improve relations again with my allies, with my 3 diplomats here. And Mali is coming in. Now, Mali is Sunni. Jolof is Sunni. I don't want any land from Mali. I do want land from Jolof, and I want land from Morocco, who also is Sunni. Now we can do this again. In this case, the claim is already weak. I don't really want more. You know, even weaker claim. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one, and I'm going to go ahead and just disinherit Enrique. Well, no. I can show you what to do with a weak claim and what that'll do to you. This is not great, but it's not terrible either. I can make states. Oh, yes. Let's go ahead and make these 2 states. This is the other state. It's a lot of admin, but until we actually have Renaissance present, it's not really that big of a deal. And we will start on Quetta. Quetta's down here. Wait a minute. Granada is just... Once Granada is done, then we'll have the permanent claims in the Morocco area, and it will be grand. Alright, so we're going to first combine these armies. Oh, because it's not done transporting. We're going to bring our mercs on up to Toledo. The Papal State is requesting that I come to their aid in the reconquest against Venice. I hope you have more friends, because, well, Aragon will go help. I hope you manage to call in some more people, though, honestly. Papal State, Ragusa, me, and yeah, that's it. Well, my subjects will go and deal with it. And so here we can say, all my subjects go and siege, and hopefully they will march on over to Venice at some point. We'll move that merc up here. And now we can combine those armies. Fantastic. So now I'm going to come back down here, and I'm going to pick up my 4 troops. And we're going to try and see what is out west. Because I know, in the back of my head, where South America is. So we're going to try and let the game know where South America is. Now you have to constantly watch the stuff there. But hey, we have found South America. If you continue up, you can start to see some of the lands that are there. You notice we're not in open sea, so the attrition is not as bad. And of course, I remember I have a mission to discover the Caribbean, and I know because I can have a map next to me that the Caribbean is north. Hey, rising support. There you go. And the Andalusia is the Granada area, so that's really good. Let's go ahead. I know we're running into our time. but let's go ahead and try and find the Caribbean. There is the Caribbean. We have lost a CB against Morocco. Don't worry, we're about to get it back. And our explorer has died. That's really actually not good. So I'm going to very, very quickly move back in here to try and save that fleet. This is why you only go with 4 transports, which I decided wasn't something I needed to do. You see we've lost some vessels. You can see we've lost a ton of vessels. And we might very well lose the entire fleet. You're going to lose the entire fleet. That's why you don't do that right there. Fantastic lesson to end the time. Let's see why the mission wasn't done. Banny. So I have to find Banny. So we will find Banny at some point. Pretty sure I lost the troops as well. Let's find out if I lost the Conquistador. No, the Conquistador survived, but the troops didn't. So in the next episode, we'll rebuild our fleet, and we'll try and find Benny over here. And we can do that, but let's check the last thing here, colonial stuff. You'll notice that the winds are pushing this way, which means that right now, this is where we're going from. Actually, we have this core. So this is where we're going from, so I can core here, and I can get here. So I could colonize over here, which would be good for exploration purposes. I could have gone there instead of having to go all the way back to Cape Verde. But once Cape Verde is done, or once this core is done here in Gabu, then a lot of this will also be green as well. But knowing our missions, Caribbean colony has to happen first. One fully colonized province in the colonial Caribbean region gives us that stuff, including settler chance, which is also this up here. So what we're going to want to do, colonial and trade reasons, we're wanting to get up here to the Caribbean, which is this green. So we will probably colonize Trinidad first, which is why we fought Portugal, to get that province, so we were close enough to do so. So that's the plan heading forward, but I have been talking about gaming and it is late, so I will see you next time. Thank you very much.